Hey y'alls, welcome back to the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I want to tell you a little something about hours of service for all the truckers out there. Something to keep in mind. What I'm about to mention is common when you haul refrigerated goods, which I'm hauling now. I'm hauling refrigerated goods. Now, I have my hours of service running on a tablet, not on my phone. I noticed that many drivers like to put it on my phone. I prefer not to, because when I park the truck to go visit family, friends, I don't want if I hop in a cab or a car when my family comes to pick me up, I don't want my hours of service to get triggered. I know you could log out and then you'd be all right, but if you forget to log out, it'll track your movement and it'll consider your movement as drive time. It's happened. But if you have a way around it and you can still put it on your phone, then that's fine. I choose to put it on my tablet. So when I have a change of duty status, I go into the tablet, I select the duty status that I want, whether it be off duty, on duty, personal conveyance, whatever it is. Once I'm done selecting, giving a description, because you got to give a description, I hit save. And then my duty status changes to whatever I saved it to. Now let's get into the situation. So I have a pickup. It's a 2:00 appointment. I arrive at 1:45. So I'm good. I was up at 10 o'clock in the morning. The pickup was for 2. So I had plenty of time to get something to eat for breakfast and take my time doing a pre-trip. And I drove to the pickup location and arrived on time. We're going to call 1:45 on time, 15 minutes prior to the appointment. It's actually better if you get there half an hour before the appointment, because every pickup location has different procedures. And if those procedures take a long time and it goes beyond the time of your appointment, even though you arrived there earlier than your appointment, they're going to consider the time that the procedure ends to check you in as your arrival time. So if I arrive at 1:45 and the check-in procedure takes half an hour, that means the check-in procedure ends at 2:15, and they might have a certain amount of time that they'll give you grace for, or they may not and just say, well, your appointment was for 2, but we got you down for 2:15. And of course you'll say, well, I arrived at 1. No, it ain't the time that you arrived. It's the time that the procedure for you to check in ends, and yours ended at 2:15. Therefore, you are late. Now they might be telling you that just to rub it in your face, or there's a penalty associated with being late. Could be a fine of $250, which they will take off whatever the shipper's paying for you to transport this load. Or it could be something else. So I arrive at 1:45. My appointment is for 2. I'm okay. I'm good. They don't have a door yet. They don't have a door to load me yet. So I have to wait in a lot that the shipper uses for loaded trailers that are going to get picked up later on, empty trailers for drivers who come in with a loaded one, swap it out for the empty one, or for drivers like myself that are waiting for a door. Ooh. So I go into my tablet, and because I'm not going to be doing anything, but I'm inside the truck, I put it on sleeper berth. And that's because I'm inside the truck. If I'm outside the truck, out and about, I'd put myself off duty. Either or, the real deals is that I arrived for my 2 o'clock appointment, and I didn't get a door until maybe 10 o'clock at night. So from my appointed time, which was 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I didn't get a door until 10 p.m. at night. And they didn't finish loading me until 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, because I was in the yard, I was able to drive under 5 miles an hour without triggering off my drive duty status. So I didn't go into driving. It stayed on sleeper berth. However, here's the deal. Everything was like a total of 11 hours. I went into my tablet, changed duty status, hit save. Now I'm not using up my hours of service, my work hours. I'm not using them. I can't do the same with my body. I can't just stick my finger somewhere and all of a sudden my body goes into sleeper mode. Or some kind of rest mode. No, my body doesn't work like an electronic contraption. So I'm wide awake for all those hours that my tablet is saying I'm not working. But I'm up because my biological clock says you're not tired. So once they're all said and done, I'm still awake. I'm not tired. I take off. I get my paperwork. I take off, go to the nearest scale. It was approximately 8 miles away from the shipper, so I drove straight to the scale make sure that I'm not overweight, or that the weight distribution is correct. Remember, your steer tires, which are your front tires, 12,000 pounds max. Your truck tandems is 34,000 pounds, and your trailer tandems are also 34,000 pounds for a total of 80,000 pounds. So I go to the scale, make sure everything is distributed correctly so that I don't go over 12 on my steers, I don't go over 34 on my truck tandems, and I don't go over 34 on my trailer tandems. And there's a way to adjust. You can slide the fifth wheel, which is that plate that I showed you guys that hooks up to the trailer, or you can slide the tandems on your trailer back and forth. And with these adjustments, you can redistribute the weight. So I took care of that. Upon taking care of that, I'm still alert. I'm still awake. So I choose to drive. Before I left, before I left the shipper, I put in the address to the receiver, the address to wherever I was delivering it. It was about 1,170 miles away. Now, a portion of my drive will be a maximum speed limit of 70 miles per hour, and the other portion will be 65 and 55, depending on where I am in the Northeast, which is where I'm going. What that means is that in the South, in those areas that are maximum speed limit of 70 miles per hour, I can probably do legally in 10 hours, maybe 640 miles. So I can probably travel 640 miles. So that's about half the distance of where I need to go. Once I get into the Northeast, then in 10 hours, I'll be able to legally average 570 miles. So that's close enough. Those are two separate driving events within a 14-hour clock, unless you're doing split unless you're doing a split on your hours of service. I don't want to complicate things by explaining that, but the bottom line is that you can go on your sleeper berth for 7 or 8 hours. If you choose 7, then the next time you go on a split, you can do it for 3 hours. If you choose 8, you can do it for 2 hours, for a total of 10 hours each one. Again, I don't want to complicate things, just so that you know. Let's just say you're not using the sleeper, the split on your hours of service. If you're not using the split, then you got 11 hours to drive. So those are 2 events where you're going to have to drive. So that's a total of 22 hours. But there has to be a 10-hour reset in between those 22 hours for a total of 32 hours. It can get confusing if you're not a truck driver, or if you're starting out as a truck driver, it could still be confusing, but eventually you get it. With that in mind, I take a look at the time that I'm supposed to deliver. And because I was at the shipper for 11 hours, let's say the expected process should have taken 2 hours. 9 hours extra of not driving toward my delivery will have me scratching my head now. Am I going to make it on time or not? Am I going to have to notify the broker that there has to be a rescheduling? This is a common thing with refrigerated loads. You never know how long a shipper could take, and you can go to the shipper. You can go to the shipper on many occasions, the same shipper, and you might have different results every time you go. You might have different waiting times, different times that it takes to get your truck loaded. One interesting thing that for a time frame where supposedly there's a recession, how is it that these shippers are the term escapes me, short-staffed? How is it possible that and I've encountered this in many warehouses and in many truck stops as well. That word is being used often. Understaffed. How can you be understaffed and people are saying that there's a recession right now? That doesn't add up. Because if you need money, I think going to work might be a helpful solution. I did mention that there are a lot of new warehouses that are being built, but still, how can there be a recession when so many places that I go to, and this is, keep in mind, this is only my own little world within trucking, how is it that you're short-staffed? Are the people close to those facilities, close to those shippers, close to those warehouses, those manufacturers, those receivers, are they all set financially? Is that what that means? Are they getting their bills paid? How are they getting their bills paid? I don't think it's through government assistance, because the amount that they give you is to assist you, not to cover you. You may have assistance for food, but that assistance is not going to cover you for the whole month. You're going to have to get some money somewhere. Assistance for your rent, you're still going to have to get some cash somehow. You still need money. Where are you getting it? So what exactly is going on? How could there be so much, from my perspective, so much so many locations that are short-staffed? So when I hear talk of recession, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there are some firings, and if you're talking about the tech world has always had a habit of doing that. Once you reach a certain amount of time as an employee, you get fired, but then you come back. That's to avoid paying benefits. That's what that's for. All those people that get fired, they get rehired. For the most part. So the recession never came. A lot of content creators with their fear-mongering had everybody on pins and needles waiting for this recession to come, and it never came. We never went into recession. And again, short-staffed? You don't hear short-staffed when there's a recession. That's not what you hear. That some businesses go out of business? Yeah, that's normal. New business fail at an extremely high rate. The first year, your third year, your fifth year. You got to get past the fifth year to start to feel like you're going to be around longer. But if you're within your first and fifth year, especially your first year, the failure rate is extremely high. So when you hear about some business going out of business, even large businesses go out of business. Look at Sears and Roebuck. Look at Kmart. They went out of business because they refused to make the changes necessary for the business climate that was approaching. Not because of a recession. So two things. You can change your duty status on your phone or your tablet, wherever it is that you have it, and you can hit save or enter whatever it is. And on that app, you won't be using any work time. But your body's not an app. Your body is not a phone. Your body is not a tablet. There's no enter button. There's no save button. Once you're awake, your body's ready to go. And if it ain't going, while your tablet is saying off duty or sleeper berth, and so many hours go by, when it's time to drive, you will fatigue and you'll have to pull over and get rest. But you'll have so much time that you can use according to your tablet, according to your phone. Hopefully you got a dispatcher that understands that, or you're working for a carrier that understands that. If they don't understand that, then it can be an uncomfortable experience with your employer or with whoever you're working with. And also, the recession never came. There are going to be some interesting developments after January 20th, depending on who Trump puts in his cabinet, how the fierce infighting, which already started within the Republican Party, ends up, and how much of what Trump claimed he was going to do, he actually does. If he follows through with a lot of the things that he said, I don't expect good things for small and medium-sized trucking companies. Mega carriers, yes, they will do well. They will do well, and they will target those medium and small businesses and try to get them out of their way so that they can capture as much market share as they possibly can. Okay, with that, I'll let you guys go. I know you want me to stay and everything like that, but no. I have to go. I gotta go brush my teeth. Yeah, I've been talking to you guys with the stank breath. But it's all good because you guys love me. Yes. So stay fresh, keep it profitable. And I'm gonna let Kitty take over. Yo, Kitty! Leave that guy alone. Get over here.
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem maça. Göremedik kimseden fayda. İşler